Hey everybody, it's Trevor here with the channel where every day is range day, and in this week's video we got another first impressions on an outside-the-waistband holster, again from A+I Manufacturing. Let's check it out. Alright guys, and as usual, before we get into this, just for full disclosures, we've worked with A+I Manufacturing in the past. They sent us some holsters. They also just helped us do our first giveaway on the channel. Again, big thanks to those guys from A+I for working with us on that. I think it went very well. But again, with A+I, they did send us this holster for a review here. They didn't pay us for any positive reviews or anything. No money was exchanged. They send us some gear to review, and that's what we're going to do. In addition to that, they also sent us this pretty sweet hat, I might add. It's a mesh back, snapback hat here with a multicam Arid print and a very nice leather badge here on the front for A+I. Pretty cool piece of merch. If you like what they do, like their products, definitely snag you one of these hats off their shop. Again, they're pretty sweet. I like this one a lot. Thanks again for sending that out, guys. So getting into it, I've had this for a couple weeks now, been carrying it outside the waistband now, which pairs quite nicely with the winter season, and I'll get into that a little more kind of after we talk about the holster. But this is an outside the waistband concealed carry holster for the Glock 19. It's not light bearing or anything, as you can see. I've carried it for a couple weeks now on and off. I figured it'd be a good time to go through my first impressions of this particular product. First off, we'll go through just some of the overall features of the holster. It says G19 here on the back. Again, they make these for a handful of different models, but this is the G19 version. And it's designed to be carried strong side. Again, this one's right-handed, but they can make a lefty one for you. So that's more in like the 3, 4, or 5 o'clock type position with this particular type of holster. I'm a little new to that, admittedly. I've been the appendix inside waistband carry style for basically from the get-go here. So this is a newer one for me, but it's a good one to try out. I've been liking it so far. Some other notable features that you'll notice here on the bottom. This is a Glock 19 only holster. This is not open, so a 17 or anything like that, even though they fit the basically the same size footprint all in here on those type of guns. This one has the Glock 19 length, so when you pop it in there, that seats fully against the end of the muzzle you can see on the holster. So unlike some of the ones that are open, it will not fit any of the other Glocks, just the 19. And that's largely due to this port here for a threaded barrel you'll notice on the bottom of this. So if your Glock has one of those threaded barrels or whatever firearm you pick this for, it will accommodate that. I would like to note that as far as compensators or anything like that, this does not appear to be designed to fit that. Again, it is ready for suppressor height sights, as you can see here. I have those on this, and it's also optics ready, as most modern holsters are there. So you can see there's no problem with that Trijicon Bright Tough sight, clearing the little ridge there for the suppressor height sights. No interference with the optic here, and I don't have the Trijicon SRO on here that kind of hangs over the ejection port just a smidge. Or well, not really the injection port, but it kind of hangs out over this little top piece of the slide. You can see that there's should be enough room for that on there also. Always nice to have. Basically the minimum standard, in my opinion, for any modern kydex holster manufacturer. Suppressor height sights, optics ready, about gotta have it. This checks all those boxes. Apart from the sights and the threaded barrel accommodation there, does have what I would consider a mid-height sweat guard. Right here, kind of comes midway up the slide instead of the high. I like these for particularly on the appendix, so that when you're kind of bending over, the kydex isn't stabbing you quite as much, but not as big of an issue for the outside the waistband holsters. But mid sweat guard in there. On the back, it's got a handful of metal attachments here, and then the rest of this is basically all polymer. These clips here are all polymer as well. There's a little bit of flex to them, but they're still pretty tough. I think it's just enough to be strong, while still giving you a little bit of flexibility on the belt. And again, these are 1.5 inch clips there. I have the Core Essentials belts that are 1.5 inch. That is all you're going to get in here. It fits pretty snug. Any of the 1 3/4 or a thicker belt like that will not be fitting in these, but it fits the core belt pretty nicely, very snug on here, so there's not a lot of movement like this while it's on the belt, but it fits just barely. So to keep that in mind, if you have a wider belt, these clips probably aren't going to fit for you. The other thing to tell you about the clips, you have a couple extra holes here in the back and a hole in the middle, and these right here, you can kind of take these and slide the clip up or down to raise the holster a position or two, just to raise and lower it based on what you want to do. You can see the little rivet here that this one doesn't have a screw in, but that one does, so you can use any of these 4 holes here to slide this clip up or down. I left it on the default configuration, which is what you can see here, but I might try it with particularly if you have guns, you know, this size or maybe a little longer, like a Glock 17. If you keep it in this stock configuration and it's like sitting on your waist, it's probably going to be hanging down a little bit, and depending on you know, what kind of jacket you may or may not be wearing. This might be poking out a smidge at the bottom. You can take this and move that clip down to here, and that would lift the holster up, you know, this far, however you do the adjustments back here. So that's a nice little feature there based on what kind of handgun you're wearing, maybe what kind of clothing you wear most often. Especially in the winter season, this becomes quite a good holster option. Just keep in mind what that might do to your draw stroke. Some people might find it a little uncomfortable to be reaching a little higher up on your back to get at this. But overall, those are the main features of the holster in a nutshell. Again, this one comes in kydex black that I have here. They also have a handful of other colors on the website, very much expanded since the first time we worked with them on a review. So that's always good to see. They had a little bit of lead time to it, but again, it still looks pretty good. And on that note, I'd step into the discussion of the overall quality of the product, fit and finish, manufacturing, how it's put together, materials, all that type of thing I usually go over. And just like their past products from A+I, it is a very good mold, very good construction, very good fit and finish on the product. I think they look very nice. You can tell a cheap kydex holster from something other than like these brands or the big major brands. They just don't quite look as polished or put together. The lines aren't as crisp and clean. You can see the, you know, signature Glock handguard there, very well imprinted, which means the mold's going to be done very well. You can see on the inside it's very smooth here, so you know the fit's going to be pretty good. But it clicks into place very nicely there. It's not going to fall out or anything like that. There are some a retention screw right there if you like it a little looser or tighter on the draw. I just got it from the factory. I haven't messed with it. It works pretty great if you ask me. It fits everything very well. You can still drop the mag while it's in the holster if that's important to you. I've noticed that. Everything else is very neatly covered. The trigger is of course protected very, very well. And the overall fit and finish is pretty great, honestly. The quality of the clips and the kydex and how it's finished along the edges and the fasteners and just the fit, you know, that retention is very solid, very positive click there. That's a big important thing for me. This thing is not going to fall out at all, particularly if you have this on your outside waistband, you're doing some work outside or something, which is one of my more preferred use cases for this particular type of holster. But it does fit quite well like all the products we've had from them in the past, so I wouldn't have any issues with durability or holding up or anything like that. So at least from my first impressions, you know, top marks for fit and finish, overall quality of the product that was delivered. It looks very, very nice. Has a neat little G19 stamp in there, and then their logo. Looks cool, fits well, looks very well put together, so good job there. Not a surprise to me from some of the past products that they've sent over, but just so you know what you're getting, it will be a you know, premium finished product here that is quite nice. And that's pretty much it for the holster itself. I would just like to talk for a quick minute about my experiences with outside waistband in general. Again, I've been a appendix rig guy my whole life for my concealed carry career, so this was a little bit of a new thing for me, but it has been a great introduction to it, a great product to test it out with, and I find it to shine particularly well at this time of the year, you know, fall time going into early winter here in December in a couple weeks, and you're wearing longer clothing, jackets more often, things like that. So the outside the waistband holster options become a lot easier to conceal. And it's also a whole lot more comfortable if you're outside in that time of year, like getting firewood or working outside or something like that, and you're doing a lot of you know, standing up and bending down, things like that, where that holster might otherwise like kind of dig into you if you have it in the appendix configuration. This one being at the you know, 3 or 4 o'clock position like that on me has been incredibly comfortable, and I'm outside in that. And if you have a longer jacket, it disappears like anything else. The concealability with this thing when you wear it in the right spot for your body really is quite good. And this curvature here is basically what you thank for that. That little radius you can see through here, and for me, 4 o'clock's the ticket. Very, very comfortable, and I was quite surprised by that. So this might be my go-to for you know, working days where I'm going to be kind of outside, and the appendix carry would still probably work, and I do believe it's a little faster in the draw stroke, especially for me and how I practice. But for overall comfortability, this is a really big step up in my opinion, particularly if you're carrying Glock 19 size guns or larger. You know, if you have a Glock 17 or something like of that nature, it's going to be digging into you more and more and more the more that you kind of bend down and start working with that in the appendix position. So that's when, you know, strong side 3-4 o'clock or whatever that happens to be if you're left-handed really shines. And this has been a great introduction for me on that. I just want to touch on a little bit. Incredibly comfortable, almost surprisingly comfortable for me at the 4 o'clock position. So I've really liked it for that, and I'll probably be keeping this on the holster rack for particular days where that's exactly what I'm needing. Working outside, longer jacket or something like that. This fits the bill perfectly. And again, I'm just surprised at how comfortable it was and how well it works. So thanks for sending it out, and I appreciate that a lot. But that looks like it's going to be it for the video today, guys, on my first impressions for this outside the waistband concealed carry holster from A+I Manufacturing. Again, this one was designed to be worn on your strong side carry, 3 or 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock works perfect for me. I've enjoyed having it, especially at this time of year for the past couple weeks, trying it out and really introducing myself to the outside-the-waistband world of concealed carry. It's a quality holster from A+I Manufacturing. Very good fit and finish, some nice adjustability features there, accommodates optics, suppressor height sights, and even threaded barrels, so this should fit a wide variety of gear that you guys are carrying around, so I definitely recommend checking it out. And I'll be carrying this throughout the winter season and probably into the spring until it starts to warm up a bit more. And probably around that time, I'll be giving a full review of just my experiences over the past couple months. But as far as the first impressions, so far so good. Thanks again for sending out this sweet hat, guys. Really appreciate it. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like down below. If you have any questions about this holster from A+I, anything on the Glock here, anything else about the company, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. We love hearing from you guys. And as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel, where every day is range day. Thanks for watching.